Hi, welcome back to my studio. Today I have decided we're going to explore what the heck happened in the last video that I filmed for you. You noticed that on my little portable painter, I had not one, but two greens on my palette. What? Me, Eva, who always tells my students, you know, don't keep green on your palette, mix your own. Yeah. So let's talk about that and let's see if we can mix our own Cascade green and green gold. Both of them are Daniel Smith colors. And let's talk a little bit about why I have them on my travel palette. And we'll decide if it's something that's worth having on your palette or if you should just mix your own. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is what I did in my last YouTube video, and I use Cascade green and green gold in mainly in the backgrounds and stuff here. I used my portable painter travel palette, and here's the colors I have on, and you'll see these are the colors. Here they are, and here is the green gold, and then in my extra little additional palettes that I built it out with, I chose Cascade green. It's this color here. And why did I do that? Well, you know, let's talk about it. And do you need to keep greens on your palette, or should you keep greens on your palette, or should you follow my normal advice and don't have any greens on your palette? That's what we're going to talk about and explore a little bit today. And of course, these are just my personal opinions. I don't, write the rule book, and there are no rules. Follow your own, desires and instincts and whatnot. I can just have some opinions and some thoughts about it. But anyway, both of these colors, here they are, and they are Daniel Smith colors. Green gold, I think, exists also in other brands, and they might have different names and different pigments that they use for it. And Cascade green, I think, is a Daniel Smith color. If other brands have a color that are similar to that, they might call it something else. I don't know that. And both of these colors, here they are. So you can see what they look like. That's the green gold. And this is the Cascade green. There we have them. It's what they look like. And the Cascade green consists of two pigments, PBR7 and PB15. PBR7, that is the same as a raw sienna. A raw sienna, it says PBR7 is what that looks like, and that's what it's called. And then the other color that's in Cascade green is the PB15. PB is pigment blue, and 15 is phthalo blue or phthalocyanide blue, I think it's also called. And we are familiar with phthalo blue, and I have looked it up, by the way, because you hear so many different pronunciations of phthalo online, and I never was 100% sure that I had it right. But now I've looked it up. I'll plop it in here so you can see the PH is silent, so it's phthalo is the correct pronunciation. And phthalo blue comes usually, phthalo blue is PB15, and then it's colon-3 and colon some different other things. Colon-3 is when it's green shade, there's green shade and blue shade, and there are different variations. But anyway, the one that they have listed on here is PB15, and they call it phthalocyanine. So it's neither, green shade nor red shade. And then the PBR7, that's this raw sienna. And I don't paint with that color. And I made the little swatch card. I didn't even have a swatch card for it, even though I dug it out. I knew I had it. I should have it on one of my palettes. So I found a couple of palettes where I have it on, and I have it on this palette here. That was a palette that I used when I took the Carlin Holman workshop some years ago before she passed away. She was the most wonderful watercolor artist and teacher. One of my absolutely top inspirations for watercolor. I loved her and I miss her. Anyway, there it is, raw sienna. And I don't even have the tube anymore. And I don't know, I'm thinking I might have shared with somebody else in the workshop, because this was the palette that she uses, and so when I'm taking workshops, I like to have the same palette as my teacher and not just use my usual colors, because that's part of the learning process, I feel, is that you have to push your boundaries and learn new things, and then you can decide whether it's for you or not. Anyway, so that's where it is, and that's what it looks like. And, you know, I'm not excited about it. I'm definitely not going to go out and buy a tube or anything. You can see it's a very much, which is no surprise, it's an earth tone, and it lifts back completely to white. And it's kind of a little grainy, and it was a little difficult to get nice coverage, I found. So that was the Cascade Green combination. These two colors makes that color, and that's what we're going to test out and see if we can do it ourselves. Then there's the green gold, and that one consists of pigment yellow PY150, which is my transparent yellow, or it's also in some brands in Daniel Smith it's called nickel azo yellow, and some other brands. So, but it's PY150, pigment yellow 150, and then it's PY3, which is the same as Hansa Yellow Light, also a Daniel Smith color that I happen to have, never use, and then Phthalo Green yellow shade, that's PG36. So Phthalo Green yellow shade from Daniel Smith. So these three pigments make green gold. And you can see green gold is very staining. Hansa Yellow Light is not staining, or not very, yeah, I could lift it back to white almost. Nickel Azo Yellow is quite staining, and the Phthalo Green is also staining. And you can see the green gold, definitely very staining, which is not surprising. So that's the players, and I'm just going to take a couple of pieces of scrap watercolor paper. I'm going to use one to try and mix the green gold, and I'm using another one to try and mix the Cascade Green, and then we're going to compare, and then we'll probably do a little something in our little sketchbook here once we have established how we do with mixing our own Cascade Green and our own green gold. So let me just get organized, and then let's do it. So I got myself set up here. Here's the Cascade Green, here's the green gold, and here's what they look like. That's the green gold, and then here is the Cascade Green. That's what we're aiming for. Here's the colors that they're created from, and I have those colors here. So let's do the Cascade Green over here. So that's this Phthalo Blue 15, and I'm going to need a tool to open that one, because that has apparently not been opened for a very long time. The one I have is from the Da Vinci Company, but I don't think that's going to matter much. I didn't really want to go out and buy a new one because it's not a color that I really use. Wow, that was stubborn. I had to have it in hot water to get the thing off, but that's okay. Watercolors basically never go bad. Okay, I got it squeezed out, and then, as you already know, I do not have a tube of the raw sienna, so I have to use this here. I know already this one's a very strong color, this one's a very weak color, so I'm gonna be very excited to see how this is gonna play out. Okay, so Cascade Blue is what we're after. Let me get some more. So Cascade Green is what we're after. Let's see. You know, to me it looks as if this one is going to be a weaker one than the one we have here. I don't see how I get that darkness, but we'll see. Let's not worry about it until we have tried. And so I'm just going to put a little bit in here, just like that. And I'm going to put a little water in here. The thing that's so nice about the Cascade Green in the mixture that they have here, you can see, I mean, it's the same shade, I can tell that. but I don't think, it doesn't look to me as if I'm getting that. See how it kind of splits up in two pigments, so you can kind of see the blue undertone there. For right now, it doesn't look like I'm getting that here. So let's just take a little bit of the Cascade green, just so we can compare on the same piece of paper. Just gonna do like this. Looks pretty similar. I'm just gonna put a little bit of water down in here, just like I did there. Actually looks like I should put some more now that I see them next to each other. Can you see that? I need to put more blue in here. So I'm going to put that over on the other side. You know, with these things it's a lot of mixing back and forth, which I happen to enjoy. I think it's fun. Let's try and see now what it looks like. We'll let that dry and then we'll take a look. Put a little bit more water in here. Yeah. Alrighty, let that dry and take a look. And then we're going to go for the green gold. So in the green gold we have 3 pigments. We have the phthalo green, PG 37, pigment green 37. Put that in here just a little bit. I know it's a strong color. All the phthalo colors are very strong colors. There's that one, and then we have some of this here, Hansa Yellow Light. It's not a color that I use normally. Oops. It's one of those that separates a little bit. Doesn't mean anything. Separate it a little bit. It's okay. And then we have the PY150 Nickel Azo Yellow, which is a yellow that I'm fond of. This is my favorite yellow, even though it doesn't look nice when you squeeze it out. So that's a 3 pigment combination, so that can be a little bit more tricky actually. It's important that you put your things, your tops on your tubes well, so that you can open them again and so that they don't let air in and stuff like that. So I'm going to start with this one. I know there's a lot of Nickel Azo Yellow or transparent yellow. That's the PY150. And then a little bit of the green. Whoo, see, already it's too much of the green. So I'm going to put some more of the Nickel Azo Yellow in, and now I'm going to put some of the Hansa Yellow Light in. I think I need more of the Nickel Azo Yellow. That's more like it, I do believe. So let's put a little bit of water in. Let's try. And I'm going to put some more water in. I actually think this is still, I think it's still too dark, but we'll see. Just rinse my brush out, and then we're going to take a little bit of the green gold straight out of the tube and see what we got here. Yeah, it's more yellow. Can you see that? Because it's really pretty much just a Nickel Azo Yellow with a tiny, tiny bit of the blue in, I do believe. So let's try that again. Put a little bit more water in there. Yeah, so that's the green gold. That's the one I mixed. Definitely way too green. So let's try again. And so we're just going to go here with just a little bit of the Hansa Yellow Light and a little bit of the green, phthalo green, and see what this looks like. Yeah, that's more like it. And the thing I have noticed is that the more water you put in, the more it goes like yellow. You can see that there. But that's pretty close. I'll let it dry. That's pretty close. So, and honestly, I think you can probably get away with just doing it with the phthalo green and the nickel azo yellow. I don't even think you need the Hansa yellow light. And I'm not sure if the Hansa yellow light alone would give you, no, see, that's a different shade. That's a little different shade of green. See? It's not, that won't be the right green. So anyway, pretty successful on that one. And then let's see here. Oops. That was the first mixture I did of the Cascade green. This is the actual Cascade green from Daniel Smith. And this is the second version I did, which is closer. So that was, you know, I put a little bit more of the phthalocyanine blue in, and I do get a little bit of separation, but not as much as here. So you can't, I think you won't get the exact result, but you get pretty close. And here, I think if you messed around a little bit more, I think you would be able to get it pretty darn close, if not exact. So that leaves the question, do you need to buy these two colors? Or can you mix your own? Green gold, yeah, no problem. If you have a phthalo green, or I'm sure if you use a phthalo blue green shade, just a little bit more of the yellow, and we found out that it's mainly nickel azo yellow or transparent yellow, PY 150, with a hint of blue in to turn it green. I think you can get it with a Cascade green. We didn't get as close. We did not get quite as close. This in the middle is a Cascade green. This was the one where I had a little bit more of the raw sienna in, so it's not as a blue-green a color as this one. And then this I put more of the phthalocyanine blue in, and I got closer, but it's not really there. Maybe I'll give it one more go on that one. Let's do that. Let's give it one more go on the Cascade green, and then we're going to paint a little something green, right? Okay, let's give it another shot. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to also, because you know, I feel that that one that I got from my Cascade green was kind of pale, kind of watered down. So let's try and get a good Cascade green. So that's right here. Sample on here. Just a little bit more water. So there we have it. So that it'll flow. Let's try it again. So this is our sample out of the tube. I'm gonna rinse that out. And then we're gonna stay over on this side and see what we can do with the phthalo blue, or phthalocyanide blue, and our raw sienna. Now, of course, I'm not 100% sure that this raw sienna is a Daniel Smith one, because I didn't make a note of what brand this was. But I'm kind of thinking it was, because some of the other colors that I squeezed out in Caroline Holman's workshop, those I know are Daniel Smith colors, and I know she liked Daniel Smith quite a bit. So let's see here. Trying to aim for that same color that I have down there. I just feel that I can't get it quite as dark and then still keep the right yellow tone. Let's see here. Put a little bit more water in for the part down here. I think this is going to be closer, but we'll see when it's dry. So then let's discuss, should one buy a Cascade green or a green gold? Well, I would say for me with a Cascade green, since I don't use the two colors that are in there, I don't use the raw sienna especially. And I'm sure you could get something pretty close if you used phthalo blue-green shade or something like that. It didn't have to be the phthalo blue or phthalo cyanide blue. So I like it because I like the separation. The separation there. That's what I like. And it's also doing it in my new sample there. And maybe you can see it better if I do it down here. There. That's, I'm not feeling that I'm getting that separation. So I like that. And I saw it, Jean Haynes, which is another watercolor artist. She's British. And I love following her too. I'm actually, I'm part of her, she has, a subscription, and she has like an online school. And so I follow her there. And as far as the green gold goes, I definitely don't feel the need to buy green gold, because I can get very close with the yellow that I already have. And I don't even feel I have to use the phthalo green. And see, that's another green. So if I wanted to mix my own green gold from the exact same pigments, I would need to add 2 new colors to my palette to make this one color green gold. I already have the nickel azure yellow on my palette, and I can just use the phthalo blue that I already have on my palette to make my own green gold. So, but for my travel palettes, and those are also my, like when I'm out camping, and if I go on a hike and I want to do some sketching and stuff, and that's usually out in nature, it is kind of fun and good to have. It can be practical to have a couple of just pre-mixed greens, even though I hardly ever use them just by themselves. Because, I don't know, colors out of the tube, most of the time, it's just not quite the right shade, and it looks a little garish or a little fake or whatever. So anyway, let's just let this dry, and then we can take one more look, and then let's paint a little something green. So I just zoomed in so you can see. I'm just going to do these 2 little illustrations in my sketchbook. I'm still getting back in the studio mode, getting my inspiration and keeping it simple. So this one here I just drew out with a pencil, and I lightened the lines a little bit. Hope you can still see it. And then this one here, I just did the stems, and then I used masking fluid and masked out all the leaves. And I'm gonna start with that one. And here I wanna use my darker color, the one that's gonna be kind of like the Cascade green. Might as well use up the puddles I have here. Just gonna spray a little bit of water on here, just like that. Keeping it nice and simple here. So I want this darker green, and I'm just gonna use the colors that I have put out. So these are the 2 colors, the raw sienna and the phthalo cyanide blue, or phthalo blue, PB15. But I don't know if you had any of these colors here. You just use what you have. That's how we do it, right? We use what we have. So I like that I get a variety. That's actually one of the reasons that I like to just mix my own greens, is because especially green subjects, I find, that's nature very often. There's a lot of greens, different greens when you look at trees or leaves or grasses or all of the above when you're out and about in the beautiful nature. All right, so just painting over, then you can see, because I had the masking fluid on, you can see that's beginning to push away. And then the other one, I'm actually also just gonna wet the whole thing and paint very light, very light. I'll probably do the same thing, just put a little water on. Very light of the green gold. So I have a little bit of a background color, but I want to keep it very light. And just like that. Green gold, or close to it anyway. Using the colors that we had out for that one, which was the PG37, which is phthalo green, and then the nickel azo yellow, PY 150, and then the Hansa yellow light, which was PY3. So there we have that. Alrighty, I'm just going to let it dry, and then you can probably guess, then I'm thinking of doing these leaves with those colors over here, with the Cascade green colors, the PBR7 and PB15, and then on this one here I'm going to use green gold colors for those leaves, and then we're going to either do pen work or something else, just with a liner brush or something. We'll take a look once we get to that. But that's it. That was easy. Okay, everything's bone dry because I've had to be out shoveling snow again. And I still have a masking on here. So I think before I do anything else, I took my liner brush. This one happens to be my fancy one from Jean Haynes, Kolinsky, size 2. But you don't need anything like that. You know, just any skinny brush you have, or another brush that has a good tip, so that you can get a nice line, skinny line with a brush. And I thought before I take the masking off, I wanted to do the stems. I'm going to go in here and just get, you can't see that, let me just zoom out a little bit. Here I have a burnt sienna or something similar to that, but you can see kind of reddish brown. You know, red and green, those are complementary colors, so I should be able to make some sort of a blackish color with this. I'm not so sure. Might be too much yellow in. So now I went into a red, quinacridone red. Let's get a little bit of quinacridone red. There, that's more like it. It's a dark color, kind of neutral. And let's just go in. And just do some of these lines. And when you want to do skinny lines, you kind of have to lift up your brush a little bit like that. I'm going to try and follow as good as I can the lines that I already drew. And by leaving the masking fluid on, some of these lines will disappear behind the leaves that I masked out. Grab some. Oops. Yeah, lift that up. And do a little bit more. And I might even do a few more here and there, just because I feel like it. Just like that. There we go. Some coming down here. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Let's not go too overboard here. I let that one disappear behind here. Okay, and we'll just let that dry. And then we're gonna grab, this is a number 8 round from Maria Rasinska, that's her name. She's another YouTuber, and she has her, you know, her own online school. She's a brilliant watercolorist. If you're not familiar with her, you can look her up. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to use my raw sienna and my phthalocyanine blue or phthalo blue, and make some different shades of green, and it's gonna go in here on top of the lighter background and put some of that in. It's a good exercise for brush strokes where you start up here, then you press down, and then you lift up again. to get those leaf shapes. That's a lot of fun to do. Press down, lift up. Press down, lift up. So if you're a beginner painter, it's excellent exercise, so to speak, in some brush control, and just let the brush do the talking, so to speak. And you can see this brush also holds quite a bit of water and pigment, so I can go for quite a while. And there's one that goes over. Now I'm beginning to run out of pigment, and let's see, I'm going to rinse it out, and then I'm going to put a little bit more of the raw sienna in this puddle, and maybe I'll run that in a couple of places here where I already went, just to get a little color differentiation, and then paint some of the other leaves with this little bit lighter, more yellow shade. And this one here. You can leave a little light in the middle, some of them, if you want to. So this is just, you know, fun, experimental. And here, see if I can get this little leaf in without running into that one. See, there's more I can do. I think I might be able to do this one behind this other one. There. Now I'm going to go into the blue and press down, lift up. Press down, lift up. And here I can press down, lift up. And now I can go in and I can actually make some petals that I might not have drawn in if I feel there's places where I could use another petal or leaf. These are leaves, I guess. And here. That looks good. I like it. So then we're just gonna have everything dry. Then I'm gonna go in with pen work on this one here. Have one more leaf to paint. And then here, I'm gonna give it just another couple of minutes. Make sure that these lines that I painted in are completely dry, and then I'm gonna take the masking off. So that's that. So this is dry, and this was also dry, and used my kneaded eraser to take all the masking fluid away. And now I'm going to paint in. There's a couple of pencil lines I want to take away too, if I can. Not sure I can. If I can, it's okay. Let's put some of our very light green gold mixture. I'm just using here what I have left over here when I try to mix it. There. And I might just use this one. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's a beautiful color, the green gold. I mean, I do love this color. One of the reasons I love the green gold, actually out of the tube, especially for my travel palettes, or my travel palette. I don't have it on all my little palettes, but is because it's a very pushy color, just like transparent yellow is pretty pushy, and I think that's partly where green gold gets its pushiness from, so to speak. I have another video here on my channel that I filmed quite a bit, a while ago, and I'll link it below, where I use it to paint moss on a piece of, dead wood I found out in in the forest with this beautiful moss, lime green moss, which we have around here on some of the evergreen trees. And I used the property of green golds, you know, the pushiness, to make it really paint the moss. It worked out so well. It was so much fun. And I did another video where I used another color that I normally don't have on my palette. And you can also, I'll link it below also. And that's the one with the little petrel chick. And there I used a black to get the fluff of the feathers and of the down on the chick, because that, I think it's lamp black. I'll have to check, but I think it's lamp black. But anyway, I'll link those videos below so you can see. Just so you can see here, this is super easy breezy. I think there's one in here actually. So there. And then this one, because it's there, I'll darken it a little bit. And then here. So this is just a really fun, this is another snowy afternoon. I'm sitting here in my studio on a Sunday actually. And I've been out shoveling a little snow, of course, and also did a little cross-country ski earlier to get some exercise. And so now it's nice to be cozy indoors. Let's see here. And I can see there's a couple of places where the masking fluid was a little skimpy, I guess, but that's okay. Here it's just in our little sketchbook, our little watercolor journal. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just something nice and relaxing to do. And here. There's that. So this is a great, you know, beginner exercise too, or exercise to get back in the groove again. There's nothing to it. And here, I want one that's a little darker, maybe here. There's that. And one more. Okay, that's pretty good. And then over here, what do I want to do? I think I'll use a pen, just a pen. 05. Do I want to use 05? Yeah, we can use 05. It's a black pen. And just do these here. Little. And then I can see we have one more that's underneath there. We need to paint in with this color. Again, here, this color. We have one underneath here. And there it is. I want to do it a little darker. There. And there. I think that's all of them. There we go. And we'll continue on with our little pen work. We want to make it a little stronger here. Main stem. Go over it a couple of times. And then here. It's always nice to have something that kind of overlaps. And then this one can go down there. So this is just a little fun way to combine pen work And watercolor, it's always, that's such a good combination. I always love that. I have a Danish online artist friend, Camilla Damsbo. She's excellent at this kind of stuff. And she just came out with a book. I'm so impressed. She has 2 little kids. I do not know where she finds the time. She's amazing. There's that. Maybe we'll use white on those really dark ones. We can try it. I didn't have too much luck with the white earlier on, but let's see. I think this one here might. Yeah, now we're talking. Seeing those dark ones, we can put a little white vein in there. Okay, we can go back here and we might put in a little bit of veins in these leaves with watercolor, just to mix it up, strengthen the stems where they need it, possibly. So there we go. Just gives them a little bit more character when you do this. There. A couple more. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, like that. So I decided on this one here, I want to use an 01 micron pen to just outline some of the leaves here. Thought that could be kind of fun. And all this, of course, is optional. And I try not to do it too perfect. I think that looks a little bit more artistic. And you can do whatever floats your boat. Yeah, I like that better. For some reason, I think it looks good. Gotta put a little rib in there. We have 2 cute little illustrations. There we have it. So that was a little green study and exploring if we could mix our own green gold and our own Cascade green. And it was mixed results. And honestly, I don't really feel that with the colors I have on my palette, I'm not going to save buying any tubes because I don't have, normally I wouldn't have the tubes of color available to make the mixture, so then I might as well buy just the pre-mixed green if that was the case. So I hope you have fun with this, and I hope you learned a little something, and I look forward to seeing you soon in another video. Take care and be good to yourself, play in your studio, and don't be hard on yourself.